acting executive director of the foundation, Ruth Olofin, while speaking to newsmen in Abuja, says that indicators revealed there might be violence during the polls, thus the need to ensure the poll is violence-free. Olofin says the foundation's Election Security Support Center will deploy 32 observers across 16 local government areas of the state to observe the conduct of security personnel deployed for the poll.
The Election Security Support Center, ESSC, of CLEEN Foundation will be observing the conduct of security agencies deployed and other related incidences for the Ekiti State Governorship election holding on Saturday, 18th June 2022. CLEEN Foundation will deploy 32 citizens observers across the 16 local government areas of the state to observe the conduct of security personnel deployed on election duty. CLEEN Foundation Election Security Threat Assessment, the ESTA findings, indicate high expectation of peaceful elections in 13 out of the 16 LGAs of the state, with an aggregate approval rating of 84.8%. However, CLEEN also observed indicators that could engender violence in the elections as shown on the ESTA findings. These findings in their order of ranking include partiality of security agencies, which stood at 78.1%, activities of party talks, 81.8%, the prevalence of misinformation and fake news, which stood at 78.1%, aggressive and excessive use of force, 77.2%, partiality of electoral officials, 76.8%, widespread availability and use of hard drug, 76.7%, undue influence of money, 73.3%, broadcasting and publishing of hate speech, 71.4%, inadequacy or excessive presence of security agencies, 71.1%, and poor training and low professionalism of security agents, 70.1%. These are the most critical factors that could trigger violence in the governorship elections, each with aggregate score of above 70%. Other electoral risk factors identified in our security threat assessment include exclusion of ethnic groups, 68.1%, and failure to prosecute electoral offenders, 68.1%, abuse of social media, 68%, and underage voting, 68%, problems associated with registration and accreditation devices, 67.1%, and partisanship, favoritism, partiality, and sensationalism of the press, 67.1%, activities of immigrants and unregistered voters, 65.7%, conduct of party agents, 64.4%, failure of regulatory bodies to enforce media regulations, 63.3%, problems associated with continuous voter registration, 63%, citizens' disaffection with the government, 62.8%, lack of synergy among security agents, 62.2%, activities of religious extremists, cultists, armed groups and ritualists, 62.1%, and the partiality or impartiality of the judiciary, 61.8%. Poor synergy between INEC and security agents, 61.2%, and miscarriage of justice, 61.1%. All these factors carried an aggregate score of between 60 and 69% respectively. The Foundation also observed that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has put in place measures to address logistics and operational challenges experienced in previous elections, as the deployment of non-sensitive materials has since commenced, while sensitive materials will be on ground on Friday, 17th June 2022. We commend INEC for considering key recommendations from stakeholders, such as the conduct of mock accreditation in selected local government areas to test the functionality of the bimodal voter accreditation system, BIVAS. This goes a long way in instilling public confidence in the process in line with democratic values. As we count down to the June 18, 2022 Ekiti governorship election, CLEEN Foundation calls on all stakeholders, particularly INEC, political parties, media, civil society organizations, observer groups, both domestic and international, and the electorates to play by the rules of the game as set out by INEC. Efforts should be made to educate and sensitize the citizens on the need to eschew all forms of violence in the elections, especially with the rise of hate and insightful speeches.
Also, the same data showed us that the perception of majority in Ekiti State have said that the elections will come out peaceful. So we have a data of 84.8% saying that the elections, they hope and they know that the elections will come out peacefully. But what we have here is, if you see, it's a threat assessment. So this is futuristic to say if these things are not put in place, this might actually result to conflict. That doesn't mean that we are saying that the election will come out not peaceful.
If you look through also, you see that we laid emphasis on just key actions that need to also happen in terms of responsibility to stakeholders. So beyond INEC, up to civil society organizations, observer groups, media professionals. So it tells you that all of us are stakeholders towards the peaceful outcome of the election. So our conduct contributes to making this happen. So you just use this platform to appeal to stakeholders to ensure that they play by the rules and do the needful towards the outcomes of the June 18th governorship elections in